What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ, and I have a very special guest today joining me for some fantasy talk. But this is the Alvin Kamara Case 2.0 with my boy Max the Animal.
What's up, everybody? Kamara's back. I'm back.
It's only right, man. I can't do no fantasy content talking about Alvin Kamara without thinking about you, man. That's literally what it is.
It's weird how something that you don't even like really plan just kind of cements you as like a guy for like I just wanted to draft him that year. Just did a little reveal and that's it. I'm the Kamara guy.
It's really the reveal that was like amazing to me. Like some people don't know, but it's on the thumbnail that will be on this episode of you showing up with a wife beater, white tee, straight Alvin Kamara at the 101 spot. Jesus.
Yes, I wish I saved that because I don't know where it is. If I ever find it one day, it could be in the Hall of Fame. So who knows?
Yeah, that's merch, bro. You should have put that up on the website, on the Big Dogs website.
maybe I'll draw up a design where I'll just like that, but we'll get the graphic real nice and just print them on some white tank tops or something.
For real, bro. Because it's just amazing that you put that into existence for him to be one and then finish one. Like that, it's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's the thing that's funny about fantasy football is like last year, if I didn't have enough conviction on the take, obviously, but I did believe it, it was a possibility.
Yeah.
But that's what's crazy about fantasy football. If I was like saying that like all year, like, oh, Alvin Kamara's the 101, he's the RB1. Oh, you guys are all crazy. Everyone would be saying I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy, Animal. There's no way he'll finish that.
Paid Animal.
Christian McCaffrey, all these other guys. Nah, man, Alvin Kamara did it.
Exactly. He did it well. And it's actually a case, I think, it's really obviously the 6 touchdowns that helped him. But I honestly think a full season with CMC, I still think Kamara would have finished 1. And that's just me just putting it out there.
Yeah. So I was looking at the numbers actually. If you look, they're basically the same. It's just shy of 1,000 rushing yards. He's got 700-800 receiving yards every year. He gets his 80. Well, normally he gets his 81 receptions. This year he overdid him, 83 really, and he was on pace to crush that. But I think the whole quarterback situation slowed him down there in that aspect.
Definitely, because once we get into that, like with the quarterback situation, which is still a pending factor going into the season. So obviously Taysom Hill coming in, it hurt Kamara a lot, like to the point where week 11 when he first stepped in. Kamara finished that week, RB 19. Week 12, RB 36. Week 13, RB 11, which isn't terrible. And then week 14, RB 12. But it's really just like, man, Hill crushed everything about production about Kamara there.
Yeah, now do you think that was obviously it's part of he's a totally different quarterback than Drew Brees and they use him in a different way. But you think that's also part of just like not having a game plan really set in for like a whole training camp and everything, whereas like this season, whatever their plan is, they're going to hopefully have it in place a little bit better. They weren't expecting the whole Drew Brees situation to happen
because nobody can predict injury, but still, man, you got to have a game plan. I really feel like Winston didn't really get a fair shot with COVID, no preseason, OTAs, very limited, et cetera, et cetera. I would think, he would be coached up enough to where he could step in from a Drew Brees, but we obviously didn't get to see that.
Yeah, and it's also I think if they're going into it this season with like Jameis is our starter, you're going to see a much more comfortable Jameis, and even hopefully Sean Payton. He seems like he's a smart head coach. Everyone says he is. Yeah. Hopefully he's smart enough to realize what Jameis does well. He's not the same type of quarterback as Drew Brees. I don't know if that's going to help Kamara or not, but I hope if you want Kamara to have success, the Saints are going to have success.
Exactly. So, it goes 1 and 2. I don't think people understand that. I think people will look at the offense like, oh, well, if the offense sucks, the running back will prosper. No, not necessarily. It doesn't really matter because are those touches valuable? Same thing with the whole Aaron Rodgers and, Aaron Jones situation. Aaron Rodgers is gone. I really don't want Aaron Jones in that first round, the back end.
I don't want Devontae Adams.
It's going to be a shit show.
Certain players, they do feed off of each other, whereas I think it does make a big difference. Like someone like a Devontae Adams, that's a huge difference. Yeah. No Drew Brees. I don't think this is going to kill Kamara. Everyone's talking about like Kamara, don't draft him, and like the 6 RB6, whatever. Look, if he has a down year from this year, what is he, RB4?
Yeah.
So like
that's the lowest we'll probably see him go.
to all the people that are fading Kamara, just don't do that. All right, don't get crazy and be like, I'm gonna draft Cam Akers maybe over Kamara. I know some people love Cam Akers. We'll see.
It was crazy. You would think I'll be one of them, but I like Cam Akers. I don't love Cam Akers. And as a Rams fan, people are looking at me side eye like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Reality. Yeah, how dare you? I got called a fake Rams fan yesterday. It was just like crazy as fuck.
Well, you just can't be realistic in this world though.
No, you can't. No,
if you think in like any other different way, you're a problem. So
yeah, exactly. Because I have my concerns, but Alvin Kamara, to me, like, where do you rank him in the first 4 picks? Because that's honestly where I have him going.
So he's my RB4, I would say, behind. And here's the problem. Like, obviously I have Christian McCaffrey at 1 just because his points per game are insane. Like, if he's on the field, his numbers are nuts. I'm not going to fade those numbers. I can't do it.
Can't.
And I would go with, obviously, my man Derrick Henry, because I would never fade Derrick Henry until he's not playing in the NFL. That's the only time I won't take Derrick Henry in the first round. And then I might even put Kamara at 3 because I don't really have a lot of faith in Saquon the post-injury year. I don't want to put too much in that basket.
I can agree with that because I was going to say I can swap 3 and 4, Saquon or Kamara, because it's like, Saquon might have that slow start. Giants are already reporting they're going to have that slow start with him, and they want to kind of ease him in. And also, the offense doesn't really need to lean on him. So I really feel like Alvin Kamara is in a situation where without Drew Brees, it really wouldn't matter. But with Winston as the starter, I feel more comfortable taking Alvin Kamara having those 80 plus 81, 82, 83 maybe receptions that year.
Even if he has a little down tick, he has 73 receptions this year. The first time in his career he doesn't hit 80 receptions.
Oh God.
Is it gonna kill him where he's gonna be like not a top 10 RB? People are gonna stop drafting him like he's a top 10 running back, and that's crazy.
He is a good runner. Like he's a good running back overall. Like in open space, he's disgusting. A screenplay, he's disgusting. He's making that first guy miss. So with these guys that have that home run ability, I honestly don't see him falling out of the first 4 picks, or let's say he goes to 3. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Yeah. So I mean, my only concerns with Kamara, well, I guess not my only, but one of my concerns with Kamara is this year, and then I'm going to play devil's advocate with myself too, because it's what I like to do. Is Michael Thomas wasn't around last year, so there's obviously going to be some more targets going his way, some touchdowns possibly going his way. So maybe that will bring Kamara down a little bit. But now playing devil's advocate with myself, you got Jameis Winston in there. He can throw the ball a little further than Drew Brees. Maybe this offense will just be totally more high power than we've ever seen, and they'll be on the goal line a lot, and Kamara will just getting 2-yard run-ins.
Exactly. That's all we want. That's all we want.
What if Taysom Hill comes in? What if Taysom Hill comes in and steals those carries from the goal line?
I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed.
I deal with on a daily basis.
I mean, yeah. So honestly, we touched a little bit on that. So what quarterback, if they lean Hill, if they lean Winston, who do you think will help Kamara the most? Like, who prospers in that moment? Because we know Hill's going to hurt him, but I don't know exactly to what a degree for the small sample size that we've seen it.
I feel like it has to be Winston starting quarterback. It just gives them a better chance.
That's where you're leaning, that you want
style offense. Plus, like, what are you doing with Jameis there? What's the point? What are you doing to this guy? Give him a chance. Let him start. He's done it before. He's only like 26 years old. So.
Yeah. And the last time we seen him as a starter, I was very impressed. For fantasy purposes.
Fantasy, especially. Yeah. I mean, interceptions. I feel like that's something that he can, with some good coaching and just a little better decision making.
Did you see the trash narratives this offseason about Winston, about him, all the interceptions and taking the deep shots, et cetera, et cetera? But it's like, for us fantasy players, us fantasy guys, why do we care about interceptions? Why does it matter?
Unless you're in like the Scott Fishbowl, that's really the only time that matters.
-6.
Don't draft Jameson Scott Fishbowl, guys. That's it. Okay.
I'm good. Winston should not be on your roster.
Yeah, I completely agree. Jameis is a guy I own in a couple dynasty leagues. Drafted him probably a little too early, but I was a little high on him just because of the fact that he's a young quarterback. He was on a good team. I knew Drew Brees was on his way out, so now's his chance. Like, what's the point in paying this man if now's not the time?
Exactly. You got to give him a shot. And I don't totally even blame him for all those interceptions because it's like Bruce Arians is aggressive. That's his play style. We've seen
Yeah,
it
he
with
also
Breeze.
didn't have the LASIK then,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Like these are things that make a difference.
These are things that are like key points in the factor of when we're talking about Jameis Winston. And like Winston didn't even really have a good defense when he was the starter in 2019, a mid-tier, defense. He had no running game. It did not exist. So he had to air the ball out. And that's what Bruce Arians wanted him to do. So I really feel like, Kamara, he ends up the benefactor with him as the starter. So Hill, I don't like it at all, man. I really feel like
I went back and looked actually. Now I don't, math isn't my, these are quick numbers here, but the last time Jameis started, he had 16 games with the Bucks. There was 110 targets to running backs between Rojo, Barber, and Dare Ogunbowale. So there's 110 targets to the running back. Obviously, that's less than what Kamara's used to. Kamara gets around 100, 107 by himself.
Yeah.
So maybe there will be less targets. So that's why I say to see Kamara get like 70 receptions wouldn't be a surprise, but would it really be a bad thing?
No, because he's efficient with those catches. He gets the open space. So I definitely like, Winston as a starter. I feel I can sleep better at night knowing that. But we won't know until August. So overall, I'm all in on Kamara.
Same. I'm not lowering him like a lot of people you're going to see are going to push him. The only guys I can consider, and like I might even be too high, is like a Nick Chubb. Like I'm starting to really like Nick Chubb more and more this year too.
Yeah, I can see it. If Nick Chubb is healthy, he can easily fall into that top 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's going to be another guy that once we get closer to the draft season, really starts kicking in. You're going to start seeing Chubb creep up a little bit. Hopefully, see Kamara creep down because I'd love to get him at a value.
Yeah,
108 like my man Snacks. So,
speaking of Snacks, man, what you guys got going on for this season? Bagel Locks coming back?
Yeah, so Bagels and Locks will be back for sure. We're definitely going to maybe we might even spice up. I heard there's rumors that we might be getting a new lock. I don't know, a big lock. We don't know. It's just rumors. So can't confirm that, but yeah, that will be back. That's on the Fade the Public channel. And then I don't know if we're gonna be doing anything else. I have no idea what's going on. We're just kind of putting out content when we can right now. Everyone's kind of busy. Like Snacks just got a job, so life's starting.
Life's starting, man. I love that combo. By the way, you guys are like the tag team champs.
Yeah, you know what? It's pretty crazy that I'm 2-0. We've been doing it for 2 seasons now.
Yeah,
I've now won that show 2 years in a row, and it's like it doesn't get talked about enough. In the sports world because Snacks thinks he's like the sports god and he rips me for being the worst gambler, the worst everything, but I beat him 2 years in a row. So
see, I think you made Snacks get a job because you beat him 2 years in a row.
Yeah, you know what? And I appreciate you for pointing out the fact that I did put these words. I said last year, Kamara 101, it could happen. It might happen. And then you bring me back on to talk about it. Everyone just wants to forget about stuff and dig it deep down when I'm right.
Exactly.
No one wants to ever praise it.
Nobody praises you when you're right. That's why I'll never fade Animal. Like you said, don't fade Animal. You can't.
Yes,
I take what you say into consideration.
Yeah, man.
You gotta love that. Seeing him finish at the 101, it has to bring some type of happiness inside of you to where you're like, yo, man, I called that. That's my guy. And he's one of those go get your guys. That was a go get your guy moment in the first round. First pick. Like I've never seen that done, to be honest.
Yeah. It's,
can you walk me through that thinking kind of?
Well, so I forgot, was that year, I feel like that was CMC, was Christian McCaffrey was probably the consensus.
Yeah.
And it was between those two, so it wasn't that crazy. It was, you know what it was? I had a love for Kamara the year before that where I drafted him early. And that was like when he just really was just taking over. I was like, oh, this guy's really good. Like everyone's going to be drafting him super early next year. And I got him like.
You got to remember the year you did that, we were just talking about off air. That was the year people were saying he's not a first round pick. That was fantasy Twitter saying he was not a first round pick.
Which one?
He was like the Alvin Kamara 2019.
No, I thought he was consensus top 2. Maybe he could have been consensus top 2 or he could have been consensus second round. With the way you don't know.
Yeah. Because people were all hyping up. That was the Miles Sanders hype. I mean, not Miles Sanders. That was the Derrick Henry hype. That was the Saquon hype, Zeke as well. So Kamara was kind of just like in that floating space where fantasy Twitter were just like kind of just like
I think he
sleeping.
was probably projected mid first, like 1.5.
Yeah, where he could
I
possibly
went
go
1.1.
this year. And then he finishes one again next year, man. I'm just like, you know what? Animal deserves a raise.
Yo, you know who? I'm not going to say, obviously, because I don't think he's that. He's not Kamara level, but the Rojo year is coming. It has to,
No.
right? It's gotta.
No,
eventually.
no, man. That's where we gotta fade. Yo, I would believe it if Fournette wasn't there, though. If Fournette wasn't there, I believe it.
Fournette's not there. He's barely there. Who's
Yo,
Fournette?
playoff Lenny is real, bro.
He had like 98 yards last year on like the last 2 games. That was a whole year.
His ankles weren't broken. That's why.
Just remember this, in 6 months from now or whatever, however many months when the season's over, when Rojo is like top 8, RB8, RB7.
No, bro, I cannot.
Right,
I don't want it.
That's fair.
I'll clip this. I'll timestamp that if you were right, and then I'll just post it every day.
Yeah,
religiously.
That's all I need.
Yo, the thing is too about Rojo, like I liked him last year with Brady coming in because I was like, all right, well, the offense is going to look a little better. Bruce Arians has a playbook, but then when they brung in Fournette, I just was like, God damn, no, I don't want any Rojo.
Yeah, I made the mistake of I took both of them last year, and then like started Rojo when he sucked, and then I started Fournette when he sucked, and then just never got it right.
Never got it because it was like either or. Because Fournette was actually getting the PPR looks too, so that's where I was like, man, I kind of want some of Fournette being that he's a pass catcher apparently.
Yeah, I think Gio Bernard's going to take all those passing targets this year, and there's going to be Rojo and Fournette splitting like 14 carries a game, so it could be bad.
Hopefully, man. So I need to get into this game with you, man. I really want to see your reaction when you hear this game. So I got 3 movies. The actor is obviously Robert De Niro. He is like one of my top 3, honestly, if I had to put it up there. Top 3, guys in the acting industry. And I got 3 movies for you. So here's the game. You know how they do keep, trade, and cut?
Yes.
That's basically what you're going to do. So let me explain it, the trade. So you're probably thinking like, oh, how can I trade? So you're going to have to pick a movie, your all-time favorite, start. Your trade is going to have to be, you're going to have to trade out Robert De Niro. The movie itself stays, but you have to trade out Robert De Niro as the actor that plays that character with Ben Affleck.
So I'm trying to think there's like probably no good roles that Ben Affleck play of Robert De Niro's, but all right. You can never match him.
He came and play a good role when his own movies, but there's that. So 3 movies: Goodfellas, Casino, and Irishman. Keep, trade, cut.
All right, so I'm going to keep Goodfellas the way it is. Nothing can be changed with Goodfellas.
Thank you.
That's
my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's my favorite. You can't. That's just you just leave
can't
Goodfellas the way it is. Now, if I have to trade and cut, here's where it gets tricky because obviously, so the Ben Affleck thing, we got to trade here.
Yeah.
Now, if we trade Ben Affleck to the Irishman, we do get the advantage of the
Al Pacino, Joe Pesci.
Well, you got the other stars obviously to carry the film, but the CGI making him look like an old man. So maybe you're like not really thinking it's Ben Affleck. It's just like this is a fucking old guy,
Nah, it's Ben Affleck.
There's the scenes where he's like really old and then he's he's younger. Maybe it will. I don't know. Casino. I'm trying to think if you could play like a good Rothstein. I don't know if he'd be able to capture it. I love the Irishman too much the way it is. I do like Casino, but I think I like Irishman more. So I'd be very upset if
you have to cut it like it doesn't exist.
I'm making this way too much of a big deal. Like it shouldn't be as big of a deal. But I really love all these movies. So I would go with the Irishman just because I think they're gonna the CGI everything will cover it up. You won't even notice.
Yeah, you won't even.
Yeah, we trade Irishman, trade Ben Affleck.
Oh God.
We'll
cut Ben Affleck,
Casino, I guess. Whatever.
Jesus. Got to cut. I love Casino for many reasons. I mean, it's a great overall movie, but I got to remember when I first seen that. I forget the age I was, but man, when they killed Joe in that ditch and his brother, that was scarring. That's like probably the top worst
being
death ever.
Beat with bats is one of my biggest fears. I've talked about it before because of that scene, because it's just so brutal.
Scarred. I was just like, holy shit.
It's not like like something like monsters and all that shit, like vampires. That shit doesn't scare me because it's not real. But someone could beat the shit out of you with a bat. Like that's very real.
Feeling everything.
Yeah, that like when every hit and like the sound guys do a good job, the Foley artists and everything.
Yeah.
Add those beats in there, the thumps.
Oh.
You can feel it in like your spleen.
Yeah. Spleen bursting out. Oh my god.
No thanks.
That was actually good. I was actually gonna pull a loop on you and trade in a movie instead. I was gonna throw in Bronx Tale in there.
Oof. And Affleck just being a bus driving dad.
Can he capture?
I love Bronx Tale. It's a great movie, but it's not mob enough compared to the other ones,
Exactly.
Mobbed up, but it's not. It's more of a lesson,
I'm gonna say life lessons.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies.
It is a great film though. So yeah, I wouldn't want Ben Affleck fucking it up driving that bus. So
oh my god. Somebody in the chat gets a
Snacks always made a great point about Casino. He likes it, says, so obviously one of his top mob movies, but something about Pesci narrating it just doesn't, I don't know. It's not the same when he narrates mostly the whole movie. Yeah, and it just doesn't hit the same as the others. I don't know.
Man, he's another actor that doesn't get the correct praise. I feel like he gets a respect somewhat, but it's not up there with some of the elites because he's up there for sure.
Yeah, people actually starting to say after the Irishman, oh, what a performance from Pesci. No idea he could act like this. What the fuck do you mean?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Have you seen anything? Watch Home Alone. It's a great masterpiece.
A good example there as well. That is a classic.
That's Range, baby. That's Range. Look at that.
Range. I don't really care for him in the Lethal Weapon series, but come on, man. He has range. He's overall.
Not everything's a hit. You can't win them all.
Look, fucking Robert De Niro did what? Bad Grandpa.
I actually love that movie. It's hilarious.
It's a fun movie, but it's not a good movie.
No, it's not a good movie, but it's hilarious.
What's the name of that movie? Is it called The Family? Where he
Dirty Grandpa. Out? Oh, The Family is
where he ratted out
one that he did. Listen, especially when you've been acting for 20, 25 years, you're gonna make some bad movies. It just happens. You've been drafting for how many years now, Fantasy? I'm sure you made some bad picks.
Yeah.
Odell
Beckham.
Made 6 in a row last year. It happens.
So how many leagues are you in this year, actually?
So I actually always try to keep it pretty small. I'm always in.
What's your?
I got my 3 dynasty and my 2 region, 5 or 6 leagues at the most. Okay. Usually, I don't get crazy with it because after a while it just gets becomes a chore, and it's supposed to be fun.
I cut it down. I was doing probably close to 12 last year, but that's because I was new into the space, just saying yes to everything. So now I cut it down to probably that range, 4 to 5, to where.
Hey, dude, I've had to be an asshole to people. A lot of people ask me, "Hey, man, you want I do want to join your league, but I'm already in 6, and I promise that I'm in 7. Before I know I'm in 11 leagues, and I hate 6 of them now."
It always comes to it to where you're you don't want to be a dick about it, but then you got to worry about your sanity come Sundays. So.
Yeah, my thing is if my advice would be for dynasty leagues. Dynasty leagues are fun, and those are good if you do want to have a couple of leagues. It's fun, but space them out.
You got to.
Don't do 3 in 1 year. Start a new one every year, maybe, or every couple. Because otherwise you're stuck with half the same teams and the same players. You want the new freshness. Yeah. And this is a great startup year right now. Guys are going insane values. See, guys, I saw. There was one of the big dog leagues, Devonta Adams didn't go until the 6th round of a startup.
That is wild.
And he was the 3rd wide receiver off the board.
Oh my god!
It's everyone took running backs and quarterbacks in the first 6 rounds. There's crazy value this year.
Yeah,
startups.
That's insane. That I would love to be part of that.
Yeah, the
But
years are always changing with these draft values, so that's why it's good to spread them out. Not
yeah,
get
you definitely got to spread them
year.
out because I found myself last year a couple of those leagues that were dynasty. I actually kind of treated like redraft because it's like I'm in too many leagues. There's no way I'm going to be able to go into this next year and try to like make trades and monitor who's doing what. Like I can't. It's just way too much. So like that 3 to 5, like really where I'm trying to get at. Like I have probably 2 more leagues I can join, but like I'm not trying to get crazy this year, man.
I've got the E-Town Get Down redraft. I've got like another.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that
redraft with my other buddies, and then I think the rest are I got like 3 dynasty leagues, and that's it. Like I try to keep it relatively small, and that way I have space for some new ones in the years coming because I plan on doing this for a while. I love fantasy football.
Yeah, so I could see myself in my 60s sitting back on my porch with a beer, still watching Red Zone or whatever it is. You know, then
Scott Hansen's son.
Yo. His son's son at that point. Yeah. Yo, he's actually a good dude, man. I met him at the Philadelphia draft. I forget what year that was. He's a good dude.
He seems like just a genuine, hardworking guy. Just that's it. He's just probably super busy, and that's like people. If anyone ever says he's rude, it's probably just because he was just like had like 17 things to do. Like that's it.
Yeah, or he was eating. Like I hate people like that. Like he was obviously eating.
Those 18 seconds I have to eat my lunch.
Yeah. I told him when I saw him, I was like, hey man, tell your brother, keep doing what he's doing. He's doing a good job. He immediately just started cracking up. Yeah. Oh man. So I want you to basically clear this up for me. This is my last question for you. So obviously, are you from Jersey?
Yes, sir.
You're a Jersey native. So I have this thing about pizza. I think Jersey has the best pizza, but I seen you ventured out into New York, you know, with Nick and stuff. Who has the better pizza? Is it New York or Jersey?
So, I mean, they're very, very similar.
I said the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same like style of pizza. It's the same everything. I would say overall, I'd say if you're in Jersey and you stop in a pizza place, you're going to get a good slice. Whereas New York, you have a lot of those 99-cent slices and there's a lot of shitty places in between all the greatness of New York that I think you might run into more versus like you just stopped at a random pizzeria like fucking Angelo's in New Jersey, like some random place.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good pizza.
Fire.
I would go to New Jersey. Yeah, it's a homer pick. But you know what?
It's true, though. Nobody believes me.
Probably like an extra $1 for that same slice in New York, too. So
exactly. There's a lot of tourist spots in New York, like Manhattan. I forget when I went, but like the pizza sucked. Like the dough was not good.
Depending on where you go. Yeah, like you get to like the thing with New York is like you got to go to like the staple places. Like you got to look up like best slice.
Yeah. So like if I go to Manhattan, coming off the train, it's like, all right, let's go get a slice, and it sucks. That's kind of like where majority of your people are going to be at to rank your pizza. You know what I mean?
Are you a specialty slice guy? Or are you a plain slice?
I'll say recently specialty. So like I'll take a meat lovers. I'll take a buffalo chicken. Like I'll throw some shit on there. You know what I mean? So like
it's the way it is. I love a bunch of shit on my pizza now.
Yeah, like I usually like try to like dress it up, with garlic, of course. If I end up getting like a plain slice or a pepperoni slice, but man, that meat lover is like where I go, like Nino's Pizza right down the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
Yeah, man. Just the random places.
And I grew up on that place, man. Like every time we came off the bus, we had like $2 in our pocket. Let's go get a slice. Like since a kid, man. Like that's a dope part about Jersey.
Place in Don Pepe's in Penn Station is good.
Really?
Where Stevie One Chain loves it. He sends me pictures of it all the time.
Word. All right, so we cleared that up because I'm like, people are on the internet calling me crazy. Like Jersey pizza is not the best pizza. You've obviously never been here, but listen, I've been to Florida. Their pizza sucks.
Yeah.
Everywhere I've been.
I have to go to New Haven, Connecticut. I haven't done it yet.
Well, I heard good things about that, actually. I haven't been there yet. That'll be on the list. But like, I traveled to Vegas, pizza sucked. I traveled to Maryland, pizza sucked. Delaware, pizza sucked. Philly has some spots that taste like Jersey, but it's like you're doing too much. You ever been to that place in Philly called Big Ass Pizza?
I've only been to a couple of the cheesesteak spots in Philly.
Okay, like, cheesesteaks, that's a whole different conversation. That is
Hats and Geno's and what's the other one? Tony Luke's,
Max's, and I think it's D Mario's or something like that. It's a real low key spot. They don't sell anything else but cheesesteaks.
Those are the best then.
Yeah, that's it. And they only take cash. So
That's
that is
even
like
better. And you know it's good.
yo, their
They're
line
hiding
on a Tuesday afternoon is wrapped around the block, bro. That's what that's
bet.
how good it is.
Yeah, cheesesteak. See, I just love food, man.
Me too. I'm a food guy.
Love food.
This turned into a food show just real quick.
Closed Roses in Penn Station. What was that? That pizza place?
I guess.
Must be.
What's better to dip pizza in ranch or garlic? Ooh. I haven't dipped my pizza in ranch.
The only type of pizza you dip in ranch is like Domino's or like Papa John's or something like that, because it's not that good a pizza in the first place. So you want to enhance it a little bit, so you get a little ranch on it. You shouldn't be dipping like a regular slice in ranch. It's disrespectful. But
because
you could also just do you. That's also fine.
In my elementary school, we had kids dump the entire ranch on the circle pizza and eat it. That was always weird to me. Like, what are you doing? You're ruining good pizza.
It's not ideal. You know, I'll have a buffalo chicken ranch slice, and that's kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah, I think that's the only time you can actually dip it in there. Florida is the worst pizza place. Also, worst drivers. Yeah, true. This guy wrong about Maryland pizza, though. There's enough Italian there for there to be some really good pizza. I mean, I doubt it. I got to be honest.
There's Italians in a lot of places. I mean,
I doubt it though. I don't think when I went. So I was in Jessup, and then I went to Be More, and then I think Washington when I went
Maryland
to
seafood. Like, isn't that their shtick?
That's their thing. They got good seafood, like pizza. I went
We're
to
not
multiple
trash in Maryland. We're just pizza's not their thing.
The pizza sucks. I'm sorry. It is.
Don't come to Jersey for crabs. Go to Maryland. You know.
There you go. Exactly. You just gotta know where to go.
Yeah.
House-made ranch.
He's very triggered about the ranch.
Not every city has a Little Italy. That is true. Even where I live, there's not a Little Italy, but I know where there's one. Like, everybody has their spots. I just have spots that where I can literally show up in any town. There's a pizza place. I'm guaranteed good pizza.
You know, it could just be like the pizza place in that town. Like, there's just like some Italian dude that's always sitting outside, a couple guys like playing cards and shit.
If you got a guy in an apron sitting out there fanning himself, that pizza is fire, bro. Yep. That pizza is fire.
Old school Italian places are the best. You could always tell right away too. You just buy the people inside.
Yeah. It's like two things I look for. You got to have the old Italian guy sitting outside waving people in. Oh, yeah, come in. And then you got to have a cash only sign. That's how I know it's good. That's just what I go off of.
Facts.
Sheesh, man. This was great. We can end it now, man. I definitely appreciate you giving me the opportunity to have you on again. Because
it's fun anytime. Listen, you know, when we get closer to the season, there's more shit going on. I'm around, so
I appreciate it, bro, because it's always good talking to you. Every time we engage with each other, man, it's just
it's fun.
Vibes. Hell yeah, man.
Those things, I don't do it enough. I probably should get engaged more, but
nah, man, you guys over there at BDG is over there killing it, man. You guys are putting out great content. I'm looking forward to you and Snacks this season with the Bagel Lots and whatever else you guys got going on.
3-0, baby. I gotta do it. Gotta keep the sharp name in business.
Yeah, you got to be a sharp. You got to hit those bets, people. Make sure you guys follow Animal. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week for another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Peace.